Having a fantastic day today.
Alright, I'm muting. Okay, so the new way that the bands will work, I'll run them today since Splinter's not here, and I'll just give you the information. You can throw the weapon band up. I'll actually also see if we can get a graphic made for the band screen with just
That would be
general stuff
lit.
that we can change. But for
That would be
now,
lit. I like that.
it'll just be ragtag hitting the chat.
All right, sounds good.
Alright, cool. Good luck, guys.
Welcome, everybody. We are back. More mobile mayhem for you guys. I don't know. It's like week 2.5 or something. We had like a half week 1 week, so call it what you want. We're joined by the beautiful Denomine with his glorious Nova jersey. So as you can see, very, very biased in tonight's matchups. We do have something new for you guys. So we are testing out weapon bans. Something that I personally am very excited to see, especially after the number of 5 stacks that we saw using the HVK last week. So we will have different weapon bans for each of the matchups, which is going to be cool to see. In our first matchup, we do have Turbulence going up against Xset. Banned weapons include the HVK and the Locust. So obviously, as the HVK is the primary gun most people have used, should be interesting to see how players adapt. But as you can see, we got everybody loaded in, hopping in to Crash Hardpoint, and we are ready to go for game number 1.
Target's inside.
And this should be a really good matchup here, Bobby. Xset is definitely a team that I have said that we need to keep an eye out for over and over again. Specifically looking at Moralto as the sniper moving into search and destroy. But, you know, we have Impulsive back playing for them as well, and he was also a big player that, you know, was really big at carrying through the season for the most part, and then we haven't really seen him play as much lately, so I think this gives them a big chance, but right now it is a lead developing for blue side.
Yeah, only 2 kills coming in so far for Xset. Not a great start for them. We do see Deathly's picking up kill number 2 as he pushes 3-story right now with BK-57, one of the recently buffed guns that you'll probably see a little bit more action out of. And now just trying to play that corner, waiting to see if somebody hops out, but So is ready for him right there. Picks up kill number 4. 3 players over on Turbulence already at the 4-kill mark, and even though they haven't stacked up a pretty significant lead, they've got control of that 3-story, which is such a crucial aspect of being able to get control of not only P2, but P3 as well. So they're set up very well right now. We do see Xset with 2 players on the hill and only 1 player up top, so it looks like Xset could potentially take the lead right here, depending on how Jez plays this one.
Yeah, and this is a strategy that we see quite often for going kind of a couple points on the first hard point, which we did see Turbulence grabbing quite a few. Instead, Xset made it a bit of a point to set up on second hard point. Unfortunately for them, it is Turbulence breaking on in, and they're now going to get a pretty hefty chunk of points here on the second hard point as well. Xset are making the rotation over, but 1-for-1 trades are not really going to help them, and Turbulence are just mowing members down.
And as you can see, despite the pretty big kill disparity, Xset's been able to play this pretty closely, but Jez on the inside of the hardpoint using the AK, which is a gun that we've barely seen at all in Mobile Mayhem, but having a very good game so far. Top frag with 7 kills on the board. We see Xset has already made those rotations over to P3. 3 players set up on the hill. Molotovs are going to start going out. Probably see some cryo bombs coming in soon as well. 1 player on the outside with 1 HP. A-Flow's making his return to Mobile Mayhem just this week. He's got 7 kills on the board as well, and just like that, Turbulence able to get the quick break despite the fact that Xset had, I believe, 4 or 5 players on or around the hill, and that's going to be a big loss for them, as it's also going to make it difficult for set up for P4. You can see continuously fragging out right now.
Not really sure what skill was going for there, but he jumped off a 3-story and did not survive. Gets reset pretty far back in the spawn. Will actually make the rotation over with his team, but man, Turbulence are doing a great job holding them back. Space coming through with a big triple kill with the Annihilator there. And this is now Turbulence crossing into triple digits. leaving Xset behind at a measly 37. And they have set themselves up at a great point on these next 2 hard points where they could secure a win. Just getting the anchor here is it's basically a free 30 points.
Yeah, Impulsive making the rotation. 360s to get the kill right there. Big turn for him. Now spraying through those pallets, trying to get the frags. And you can see Turbulence not even trying to play the hill right now. They're just playing for frags. They know they've got this locked down, and it's going to take a miracle for Xset to come back in this one. You can see Jez holding down the top of the hard point. He's going to call in that UAV. He's got Deathly's on the backside, trying to get the Annihilator kill, but unfortunately, he's actually going to die to the Pred missile in the process, and now only a matter of time before Turbulence is able to close this one out. Nobody in double digits over on Xset, and Space and Jez both in that double-digit area. 7 more seconds. We do get a break real quick coming in for Xset, so it looks like they may potentially be able to push this to a 5th hard point.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to, but we already see Turbulence making the rotations over. Impulsive got knocked off of his Annihilator, not a great spot to be in. And then looking at just the map right now, I mean, we have all of Turbulence over here for the anchor. They're going to get free points here at the open. And we absolutely have to see Xset get it in with 3 players getting dropped right now. That's going to be game 1 going over to the side of Turbulence.
Yep, Space calling in the cluster strike just for a good measure, and as you can see, the kill difference telling the majority of the story right there is Turbulence. Just too much firepower on their side. We will see them coming away with the win in game number 1. As you can see, Space top fragging Jez not too far behind in A-Flows, making his return to Mobile Mayhem, having a good game himself with 10 kills on the board. Not a single player with a bad game over on Turbulence, and COD, Impulsive, and Deathly's with decent performances. Definitely going to need more out of Skill and Meralto. We know Meralto is mainly a search and destroy primary, but still, you got to have your sniper getting a little bit more than 4 kills. We'll see if they can step things up as we get ready to head into the search and destroy.
Yeah, and Slothy in that game, despite finishing as far as score-wise at the bottom of his team, had absolutely phenomenal rotations, was able to lock down a lot of time on the hard point. And that really just goes to show, like, a lot of the score, yes, MVP
Timothy with the
nice
sub. Can we get some sub hype in chat?
But I think a lot of that anchor game came down to Slothy's rotations. I mean, he struggled a little bit in the early stages of the game, but then came through really big in the team for the middle and late stages.
And for everybody in chat asking about the bans, so the bans are specific to each matchup. It's not necessarily one weapon banned from all of Mobile Mayhem, but each team is allowed to choose one weapon that they ban. So we have Turbulence has banned the Locust, and Xset has banned the HVK. That is the primary reason you don't see any players using the HVK right now. It will vary from matchup to matchup, so I'm expecting the HVK is probably going to be banned from most games just because, in my opinion, it does give the most, or it decreases the skill gap the most. So more than likely, the better team will be the one that bans the HVK. But that's just my guess as far as going forward. Almost good to go before we hop in to Search and Destroy on Meltdown.
Yeah, and I think that's a pretty fair analysis of breaking down why we'll probably see the HVK banned quite a bit. I do think the Locust ban here from Turbulence is very heavily targeted at Meralto, specifically for the fact that we are now moving into Meltdown, which is a very, very sniper-heavy present map, especially if you go down the B side. So this does offer Turbulence a little bit more of a window open, and honestly, I think puts Xset at a little bit of a handicap. Yes, there's other snipers available, but the Locust has been a big one for Meralto in the recent history. So
I'm a little bit surprised to see, oh, and just like that, Meralto's going to drop to the nade anyway, so it wouldn't have made too much of a difference. Frags coming in, oh my gosh, everybody dropping for Xset. COD's going to be the only player remaining. He's going to drop to Jez, and that is one of the fastest round ones I have ever seen, as we saw both teams extremely aggressive push over to B, and it did not work out for Xset. I was going to say, a little bit surprised to see the Locust ban just because the DLQ is so similar. The only real difference is a slight difference in mobility, and there's actually opportunity to have better ADS time on the DLQ with the exact same lethal zone. So We'll see if that is one that ends up paying off, as obviously not a ton of sniper presence. We do have Aflos, who has been known as one of the better phone snipers, but at the same time, it looks like currently rocking the AR, so we do see a couple frags coming in. It's actually Xset now at the advantage. Slothy trying to pick up a frag right here, but down 2 players are Turbulence, and push back into a corner. Aflos will drop. Slothy going to be the only player remaining right here. Does get shots onto Impulsive, but gets turned on right there. Beautiful shots coming out of him, and that will tie things up at 1-1.
Yeah, and Xset desperately need this win here to push us into a game 3. Again, even if they don't come through with a win in the end of it, denying 10 points away for either of these teams is really big. So, you know, this is going to be a difficult matchup. We've talked about this Turbulence roster, I mean, from the kind of preliminaries that we started in, Bobby, in that this is almost like a mini MVP team, right? This is all a bunch of really high-skilled Mobile Mayhem veterans, so this is a tough team to beat, and Xset, a team that has kind of struggled towards the lower middle of the tournament since we've seen them join. This is going to be a rough matchup.
Yep, for sure. We actually see Xset picking up a couple early frags once again. Slothy will be able to get the trade on a Meralto, but that opens up that mid area for Impulsive to now push down. You can see Aflos and Slothy rotating over toward A. We do have the bomb in the hand of Skill, and he's actually going to go for the plant over on A. We'll see if his teammates are able to protect him. Deathly's not quite at the right angle right here, but COD actually picks up the frag with the Molotov. Impulsive finds Aflos right there, and back-to-back rounds are going to go to Xset, as they're definitely looking a lot stronger in Search and Destroy than they did in that first respawn.
And this has been predominantly the case for Xset. I actually think they are a strong Search and Destroy team, so this is a big opportunity for them to push us to a game 3. As I mentioned earlier, I also like that we have Impulsive back here on this team. We've definitely seen him missing a few weeks, and they definitely underperform or struggle quite a bit more when he's not here to kind of play that anchor for the team. Meralto as well, typically someone who we would see helping be towards the top of the leaderboard, especially in Search. Struggling to find a kill right now, and that's unfortunate for your sniper, especially if you're trying to play a B-side push, and he's unable to get a pick, but it's going to be Deathly's picking one up on Jez.
And we are now down to 3 players remaining over on Turbulence once again. Xset just finding those first bloods and getting the refrags whenever they need them as well. That's going to open up the push over toward A, despite the fact that Meralto's still got the sniper out. He hasn't had a whole lot of an impact, so right now just trying to guard the mid area as his teammate does go for the plant. It will go down. COD's going to get the plant right here, and now just trying to watch the flank. You can hear the shots from up above. Impulsive gets the frag. Refrag coming in for Slothy. 1 player advantage once again for Xset, but Soso gets the frag right there. Oh my gosh, what a turn by Meralto, and now only 1 player remaining. Slothy's going to be by himself. He's going to need a reload. Impulsive's able to land the shots. That's going to be 3 rounds in a row going to Xset.
Yeah, that was a really good pickup kill by Meralto with the pistol there. Soso made the rotation and just happened to come down the ladder at the right time where he was able to pick up a free kill, rotating down right behind. I don't remember who it was on the side of Xset. I want to say it was Deathly's, and that was a free kill going over to Soso. But then Meralto, as you mentioned, was able to get the turn. Impulsive then was able to win the gunfight as well. So that closes out a 3-1 lead now for the side of Xset. And again, this is an important matchup for them, because even if they don't win, they can deny Turbulence points here. If you lose in Game 3, it's the same as if you lose in Game 2. It's 0 points across the board, so there's nothing to lose by picking up a win here.
Meralto very nearly spots Slothy over top of the generators right there, but still no first blood coming in. You can see Jez actually has the Arctic in play for Turbulence. This could be a solid play, especially given the fact that it's an automatic one-tap anywhere on the body, but Soso picks up a 2-piece right there, and finally we've got Turbulence with a man advantage. COD able to pick up the frag onto space, but still 1 man up for Turbulence right now. COD picks up another. Slothy will drop, and with Deathly's taking out Jez right there, Soso actually in danger. Here's shots from around the corner, turns on COD. What a shot right there. Deathly's now the only player remaining, trying to play the inside of generator rooms, or boiler rooms right here, and not going to spot anybody quite yet. He's got 2 remaining people to contend with. The bomb is down. He's going to need to go for the play right there and gets spotted by Soso on the way out of A site. That will finally be a round going over to Turbulence to end the 3-round streak for Xset.
Tell you what, Bobby, one of the nice things here about playing on the emulator is I actually have the headphones for the game volume. So I can hear so many more things now.
Yeah.
That was a big turnaround round though for the side of Turbulence. It seemed like Xset had quite a bit of momentum, picking up 3 rounds in a row. So for them to be able to shut that down there, that is good. We are also now obviously rotated into the second half of the game. This is going to give Turbulence the opportunity to be on the offense this time. Gives them a little bit more control, and Meltdown is one of those maps that actually I think really favors the offensive team. So
yes,
keep an eye out for the rest of this game.
Couple trades coming in. Slothy will drop right there, but a 2-man advantage for Turbulence. So really doing the majority of the work right now. 9 kills on the board for him. What a double right there. Perfectly lined up. That was just unfortunate timing for Xset as they were stacked in the wrong place at the wrong time. And probably only 10 bullets needed to take out the 2 of them. And just like that, he's going to move up to 11 kills.
Yeah, it's been a big game for Soso, and they are on track to try to push this into a 2-round victory here. That's ideal for Turbulence. They're obviously going to be in a competitive bracket moving forward, so picking up 20 points here is definitely needed for them. Skill almost gets a kill on A-Flows, but COD is going to help him finish that one out. We do now have a 2-man advantage on the side of Xset. Make that 3. Now, Slothfully is alone with the bomb, but he is going to get dropped by COD. And that is now 4 points on the board for Xset. And Xset need to keep this energy up. They need to push us to a game 3 and try to pick up some points.
Yeah, that was a big round for Xset. It seemed like the momentum was going back to Turbulence, so being able to take a round right there was good. We see Moralto picking up a little bit more steam now that he's on the defensive side. Gets 1 frag with the sniper and actually had a hit marker on the other side as well. He's not going to be able to find anything right there, but still content to sit back, trying to find his rhythm with the DLQ. Obviously, the change of a sniper, even if statistically it's not any different, the guns do have different scope and animations, so that different feel can tend to impact you in a really big way, especially if you have been using the same gun for a really long time. We do have a plant coming down over on the A side, so now all that is left for Turbulence is to defend. 4 players remain for each team. We got Jez pulling out the single Fennec, as the Akimbo Fennecs are currently banned in Mobile Mayhem, which anybody that has played Ranked in the last 2 weeks can tell you that is a fantastic decision. We got Soso sliding the corner, not able to pre-fire onto anybody, and just patiently waiting is Xset. They've got to make a move sooner or later. He's not going to be able to get the frag. Teammate gets the refrag. Moralto all by himself. A-Flows picks up the 2-piece, and just like that, we're tied up once again, 4-4.
Jez has been struggling all through this game to find any kind of momentum and picked up a huge teammate-saving kill there at the end of that round. So that was really big for the side of Turbulence. They've tied things up 4-4. And again, for Turbulence, this is big. There's 10 points on the line for them, closing things out here 2-0. We've got 1-for-1 trade, Impulsive. Make that 2 for Impulsive. So we now have a player advantage going over to the side of Xset.
Deathly's on the outside, takes some shots, pulls out the RPG, not trying to take any risks. He gets the kill onto Jez right there. That's actually going to be huge. Now a 2-man advantage. The bomb's going to go down, and that will be a quick round going over to Xset right there. I couldn't even keep track of everything that was happening, but they've actually got a shot at pushing us to a game number 3, despite the struggles for Moralto. Only 2 kills on the board as the sniper primary. They've still been able to find 5 rounds. If they can find 1 more, it will be a big win for them as we see them with the aggressive mid-push right here, and pretty much everybody on Turbulence now pushing into A.
Yeah, Space is going to go ahead and get that early plant for his team, and this does now force the side of Xset to not only fight against the clock, but they have to make a push in here to basically a heavily armed bunker, right? Like, everybody here for the side of Turbulence are going to be set up. They're going to be watching their corners. There's a lot of FHJ capability for players trying to rotate in. As you see Space actually pulling one out now. Frothy picks up a double. Soso finds another kill.
And it was only a matter of seconds before Xset. I couldn't even switch my POVs before they were finally dead, and just unfortunate for them. They knew what their strategy was going to be. They were hoping they were going to get that aggressive early first blood, but unfortunately, nobody going mid is everybody on Turbulence full sent over to the A site, and looking like we may have a similar approach right here. Xset actually pretty content to sit back and play for picks. It's worked pretty well for them so far, as we got skill on the inside of Boiler Room, and Soso once again getting the first blood, making a two-piece, and frags are coming in left and right despite a great game for Xset. Not looking great right now. Impulsive will drop. COD going to be the only player remaining. It's a 1v4, and with the bomb down in mid, not a great spot for him to be. He's going to try to make the rotation, see if he can get a couple picks from behind, but I believe he was spotted by Soso from above. Soso will get the final frag, and it's only fitting that he finishes the match with the last kill. 15 on the board for him, and definitely a huge factor in Turbulence being able to make that comeback and getting the win.
Yeah, and that was actually a really big performance coming out of Xset there. I mean, again, this whole matchup, just looking at the rosters, was an uphill battle for them. I really actually do think this Turbulence roster has the skill to go quite far in this tournament, maybe even potentially pushing into finals territory. And, you know, again, Xset has players on the team that I think are phenomenal players. Some of the team synergy and the rotations seem to lack a little bit for them, though. Meralto, I mean, you know, Bobby, I talk about Meralto every week. He's one of my favorite snipers to watch. Wasn't able to come online today in either Hardpoint or in Search and Destroy, and I really think that led down to a bad path here for Xset. Your primary sniper only closing out 3 kills in Search and Destroy, going into 11 rounds. That's a rough spot to be in.
Yeah, and I think Turbulence did a really good job of minimizing his impact, especially whenever they were on defense, not peeking any long angles and really just holding those corners to the best of their ability. He wasn't able to find any early frags, and because of that, I think we got into like round 6 before he found his second kill, something like that. So they definitely had the right approach right there, and once again, big credit to Soso. He was just finding all the right frags at all the right times. 16 and 6, nearly triple positive right there. Fantastic game for him, and that will allow them to secure the positive 20 points as they will take the first win of the day in our Mobile Mayhem. Just trying to use the wait, check. Okay, that's the right audio source, and then I need sorry chat, Sylvia wants me to use this scene, so I have to add the audio sources in. Next matchup is going to be Nova Imperium versus Exiled. Should be a good one, especially looking at the standings right here. You can see Nova Imperium and Tribe and Exiled all currently tied at 40 points over in Division 2, looking to be the more competitive division right now, with Turbulence now moving up to the top with 60 points. They may actually move higher. I could be wrong on that one, but you can see all of these teams very, very close to each other, and we've got our teams loading in right here. This should definitely be a fun one to watch. We know Nova Imperium has a lot of that young, raw talent, but maybe a little bit more age and leadership over on Exiled. We'll see how these two teams match up against each other.
And Exiled is another team that really came into the league, Bobby, and we didn't expect to see too much out of them, but they've had some players really, really shine and perform exceptionally well. Neji here, for example, one that just joined. Darky being another end as well. Been really phenomenal players. So this is a team that I would like to see push really hard. And for this matchup, going up against Imperium, I mean, that's going to be that's going to be a pretty tough matchup for these guys. I think they have the potential where they could swing a win. But it's going to take a fight. It's absolutely going to take a fight. I do think this is going to be one of our better matchups for the night, assuming Exiled bring their A game. I mean, this is a team, again, they have the skill, but we do see them struggle a little bit with consistency.
Yeah, and it looks like Exiled, I don't think they've even been in the on-stream games the last couple times, but it seems like they've performed really well in their off-stream games, so I'm Interested to see if they've made any adjustments and how that's going to play out. I believe we should have our announcement for what the weapon bans are going to be. We do. So map 1 is going to be Crossfire Hardpoint. Nova Imperium banning the HVK. Exiled banning the ASM-10. Neither of those too surprising to see. Anybody that's been watching Mobile Mayhem this season knows the HVK has been the go-to weapon for most of these players. It's ridiculously overpowered at range. It's a 4-tap at 60 meters and has the rate of fire of an SMG and pretty good stability. So not too surprising, it will likely be banned in all of our matchups for tonight. Exiled banning the ASM-10. Once again, very, very solid gun. It is a 3-tap AR, so pretty similar to the DRH, just primarily more of a long-range version of it because it doesn't have as much bullet spread, so nothing too surprising to see there. All snipers still in play, and in the current meta, SMGs are basically irrelevant just because of the factor of the 3-tap AR, so hopefully we'll see some buffs coming to SMG soon. Ever since the HG40 nerf, they just have not really been in play very much, but hopefully some new balance changes coming in the future.
Yep, this should be, that would definitely spice things up a little bit. It seems like a lot of my time with you here in Mobile Mayhem, Bobby, has been a lot of dominance in the AR field, which coming from a historically COD console community, that has not always been the case. I mean, SMGs have actually dominated the field for years and years and years, so this is kind of a big switch up, and you know, obviously in games that evolve over time, there's going to be changes, there's going to be nerfs, there's going to be buffs. So that is one of the big things to look forward for Call of Duty Mobile. In the sense that it's a game that's going to stick around for a while. It's not going to be a yearly COD re-release. So I think that allows a lot of evolution in the gameplay over the course of not only from year to year, but even just boiling down from season to season. I mean, again, right from the beginning, we see a lot of the SCAR, the DLQ, the intervention. DLQ,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, DLQ was very big at the beginning. Then we've seen players transitioning into other snipers. For example, the Locust is a big one that we actually saw banned in our last matchup. So a lot of opportunity for COD Mobile Esports moving on forward. But it looks like we have both of our teams getting here, guys. Just a couple things getting tidied up. People getting score streaks and everything set, getting classes changed it, and we will get you guys in the game. And I just invented the word changed it, apparently.
Yeah, big things happening on the competitive side. Obviously, we talked last week about 100 Thieves not only making their return to the CDL, but also announcing that they're going to be investing in Call of Duty Mobile as well. And then earlier today, the New York Subliners, another CDL team, tweeted out that they were looking for the best COD Mobile players. So hopefully, as we do start to see some of those bigger names make an entry, it'll open up opportunities for a lot of these pro players to be able to invest more time into practicing, into developing team chemistry and everything else, and really allowing the North American competitive scene to improve in a way that allows them to match up against some of the Asian teams that we typically see dominate in esports. So it should definitely be interesting to see how the Stage 5 championships shape up and everything else, but lots of potential for each and every one of these guys as the scene continues to grow.
Yeah, absolutely, and obviously Nova Imperium been a really strong team in helping develop a lot of the meta over the course of several of these updates. So keep an eye out for Nova Imperium. They're one of the teams that we definitely expect to be contesting towards the top. Fierce, another team that has done strongly so far this season. Obviously Turbulence, who we just saw, who picked themselves up, I believe. They are 60 points now on the roster, so I think they are on the leaderboard, so they are tied with Fierce, I believe.
Yep, both of those teams at 60 points, so top of the leaderboard.
For now, we still have Fierce yet to play today, so.
And as you can see, since the Locust is not bad, we got Swag pulling it out right here, and one of his favorite things to do, sniping in respawn. We'll see if he can pick up some frags off the start. Not going to find either of those two through the bottom of the hard point, and That'll open things up for Exiled as Silo does get the push in. Gets the frag off the start. Will probably spot one player. He actually doesn't find Zealous, and because of that,
Oh, Bear, what a turn!
And he's actually alive inside the hard point. Zealous is actually going to be able to put in, or push in and get control of the hard point for the time being. We see Nova Imperium pretty good control right now. We got one player is actually able to jump up, but unfortunately not able to get control of the hard point. It will be a good setup right here, as we do have Zealous pulling out the ICR. Not very strong in close range situations, but an absolute laser at range. And with all the long angles that you're going to see on Crossfire, not too surprising to see him pulling it out right here as one of the top fraggers in Mobile Mayhem, and Neji absolutely turned on him right there. He's set up pretty well for P2. We'll see if his teammates can hold down the surrounding area and maybe close a little bit of this gap that we've seen off the start.
Yeah, and this is a very difficult hardpoint map to overcome, especially if you aren't able to get the rotations. It's honestly like Crash on steroids, right, Bobby? And all of these hardpoints are so isolated inside with very few passages coming in. The anchor points are incredibly important here, as we do see Zealous cleaning up Neji, who is making that rotation over. So if you're able to get your teammates in and get a hard point locked down, it's very, very easy to defend, and that's what we see Nova doing right now. I mean, they are pushing back the opposition of Exile incredibly well, but there's Neji with a double kill. That might create a little bit of a window for them.
Ooh, big push in right there for him. He's able to take out the player on the hard point. That'll allow them to get a little more scrap time. Unfortunately, it's pretty late in the clock for them to be making that push, so he's actually going to get taken out immediately. They're not even going to get the full duration of that scrap time. Darky pushing up. He does get the frag onto Hax, but Hax having himself a pretty solid game so far as well. We've seen him very, very hit or miss recently in Mobile Mayhem. He's usually their top frag or bottom frag. You can see already 7 kills on the board for him. The Chopper doing work right now, and he's going to push into the hard point, the main OBJ player as well, putting down those trip mines, and now all he's got to do is sit and wait as he will hold down the hard point for the time being, picks up the frag onto end as well, and Nova Imperium looking like they may be on their way to a win number 1. Oh,
yeah,
the
man,
double.
a big double kill trip mine there.
And that is, that's painful to see. To see 2 players drop to 1 trip mine is just not what you want to see if you are Exiled, and it is now a 80-point lead for Nova Imperium.
Yeah, and Nova are just straight up winning more of the gunfights here. Hax and High, both 10 kills on the board. Zealous, I mean, right up there with him. Swag, as you mentioned, one of these players that we love watching as a respawn sniper, doing exceptionally well. Beating out his counterpart over on the side of Exiled and End, who has just picked up his 5th kill. Swag obviously working on kill number 8 if he can find it. But just 37 points away now for the side of Nova Imperium. This is a big, big opportunity for Nova. They are in on the hard point, and they're able to at least stall out the point growth that has just been one-sided in favor of Nova this whole time.
Yeah, and they're set up very well in the surrounding area too. Unfortunately, End not going to be able to get the frag on that shot, but they've got players not only inside the hard point, but across the way as well. It looks like they'll probably be able to get the full duration right here unless we see some type of a crazy Annihilator push or something like that. And as I say it, we see 3 in the feed. High is going to get stopped right there finally by Silo, and that's definitely a big one for them. It looks like they will finally be able to hold the rest of this time, but with Nova Imperium already setting up. Oh no! Neji's been able to get the push out. Unfortunately, he's going to drop to Zealous. They do have a couple players close by that should allow them to go once again and get set up for that next hard point, but they definitely need to do so pretty early before we have Darky coming in for the flank.
Yeah, High was able to push through and get a big double kill over Silo and Neji there. Is going to get dropped by Bear on the return, but now with Nova on this hard point, they are in realm of winning on this hard point if they're able to hold it down uncontested long enough. About, what, 13 seconds of leeway to them as well, so...
Yeah, and we got Hex.
Time to work with for sure.
Yeah, Hex is going to push out with the Annihilator right there, and it still won't let me switch to first person. I'm going to lose my freaking mind. He picks up the frag right there. Silo's going to drop him. It may actually... It is a push coming in for Exile. They're able to get control of the hard point. They should be able to get close to 100 points right here. End is absolutely popping off. He's going to take out Swag right there. 9 kills on the board for him. Hax and High currently combining for 34, but regardless, Exile making some big plays, but unfortunately, we got High hopping into that Goliath, and that is going to make things exponentially more difficult for this Exile team. All double digits for Nova, Imperium, and with a Goliath on the hard point, they're going to need a crazy push, but he's already down to 173 HP.
Yeah, there's some potential there, but unfortunately for the side of Exiled, if you let a Goliath get in any of these hard points, it's so incredibly difficult to break. I mean, there's really big score streaks that we see used quite often for just canceling out a Goliath. You know, Predator Missile, Cluster Strike, you know, War Machines would have been a really strong option to have here for these close quarters. And we didn't see a lot of anything on the board except for Annihilators. I think we had one War Machine, a Tempest, and I can't remember the name of the new one.
War Machine and Annihilator?
No, the new one.
The shield? Wait.
Shield pistol.
Ballistic shield?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if that was a late game switch. I just kind of was peeking through at the end there, but.
Maybe. I don't remember seeing it in play, but you could.
I didn't see it in play, but
okay.
At the end there, yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, we do have Hex top fragging by a lot, going triple positive, 22 and 7. Big game for him with 1:18 on the hill as well, and that will allow Nova Imperium to take the win in game 1, but a really good fight going up for Exiled, even though I don't think they had a single player going positive. They made some really good rotations. They got the breaks that they needed. Unfortunately, the Goliath on the hill was the determining factor that did result in Nova Imperium coming away with the win, but we've seen Exiled make some big plays against some of these teams before. We'll see whether or not they're able to make it happen as we get ready to hop in to Search and Destroy. Keep in mind, once again, for this matchup, the HVK and the ASM 10 are banned, so that's likely a lot of the reason that you're seeing more of these off-meta weapons come into play as we get ready to hop into Search and Destroy on firing range.
Yeah, and this has been a fan favorite map for a long period of time, and we definitely see a lot of teams really excel on this map. Nova Imperium being one of them. So I don't think that's a great position to be in if you are the side of Exiled. However, End has actually been doing pretty strong. You know, considering he was up against Swag in that last matchup for Respawn Snipers. Exile did a great job throughout the middle portion of that game. They were able to stop Nova pretty much in their tracks for a large portion of time when Nova was at that 113 point mark. And Exile made a really large comeback all the way down from 20 points, crossing 100 there towards the end. So it's not a team that you can count out, but again, they do struggle a little bit with consistency. We saw it quite a bit at the beginning of that game. They started to turn things around through the middle and towards the end, but it was a little too late by then. And we definitely have to see them come through big here in Search and Destroy. And this Nova roster is a team that, I mean, for seasons now, Bobby, these have been the players that we look at as some of the best Search and Destroy players in the entire league. So not a great position for Exile to be in, coming off a loss in Hardpoint in round 1.
Yeah, the sniper power between High and Swag is definitely going to be a lot to contend with. We've seen End improve a lot in his sniping ability and even Respawn sniping right there, so we'll see if he's able to match up against those two, but it's not going to be an easy task. We know that Vague and Zealous can also absolutely frag out, but we've also seen a lot of inconsistency for Nova Imperium, situations where they've messed around than they probably a little more than they probably should have, and as a result lost a game or two. That's probably a big reason why they're not in first place right now, so we'll see if they can continue to improve on that consistency and come through with the 2-0 win as they get ready to hop in to game number 2.
Yeah, moving into search on the firing range opens up a lot of big opportunity, especially on the A slash mid side for sniper activity, which, as you mentioned, I mean, high in swag being on the team here, a lot of long range firepower potential. Vague potentially pulling out a shotgun as well. I think I just saw him with the buy 15 out, so keep an eye out for him as well for some of these close quarter combats around the corners of building as well. So.
Yeah, we see High picking up first blood onto end. Bear will pick up the sniper, and a couple players drop for each team. We do actually have Exiled and Silo both picking up frags, and it's actually going to be a man advantage for Exiled right here. Bear on the inside of American looking to find another pick, and Zealous will be able to take out Neji. Silo able to pick up one onto Hex, and now Zealous all by himself. He is over on the B site, going to need to pick up the bomb over by A, so likely going to try to play for a pick before he makes that push. You can see Bear going for the wall bang, not able to find anything quite yet, and really just waiting for Zealous to make some type of a play right here. He is likely going to get spotted right here, and should be an easy frag for Zealous. He is able to pick it up. Now a 1v1. Silo in top of 10 right here, just looking for the rotation from Zealous, but he's actually now in the bottom of 10. Could be a precarious position, and he's actually going to take shots, but not able to land it, and Silo spots him up top. He's able to get the frag, and Exiled will go up 1-0 off the start.
That's a big opening round for Exiled to bounce back after a loss, and then again, going up against one of the teams that we would consider to be the strongest in Search and Destroy, and on a map that they favor, so it's a big opening statement here for the side of Exiled. I mean, do I think this is going to be a one-sided Exiled match off of one round? No, absolutely not, but it definitely shows that they are here to play Silo with a massive performance for the team, picking up 3 kills in the first round. I mean, if we can continue to see Exiled play with this energy, they very well do have the potential to push us into a game 3.
And we see the dual snipers coming in. Darky actually punishing High right there. He's not going to be able to take out Vague, so a couple coming in right there. A one-man advantage once again for Exiled, and that's going to open things up even more. And Vague turns, just barely gets the assist, gets the frag on the end as well. That's a solid game. Or no! Exile wins the round. I thought that Nova Imperium was going to close that one out, but that's actually 2-0 for Exiled.
Bear picked up 4 kills that round. He was able to pick up hacks, making the backside rotation, and had bomb down at that point. So he was in a great position. Very clearly got a call out for his team that Vague, the last player, was in 10, made that rotation over as well, or to trailer. Made that rotation over, was able to pick up the kill to avenge his teammate and close out a round 2. So that's a big round for the side of Exile. They're now trading back and forth.
And what? He just got a 2-piece with the revolver. What am I watching right now? Swag's the only player remaining. He's gonna pick up the frag, but Neji gets the kill right there. Exiled is up 3-0 against Nova Imperium, what many people would argue is the most skilled team in Mobile Mayhem, and Exiled is absolutely running through them right now, 3-0.
Yeah, Exiled are doing great here, and this is actually really surprising to me. I mean, it's not that Nova Imperium haven't been putting up a fight, it's just I didn't expect Exiled to win so many close fights. You know, for example, as you mentioned, End picking up double kill with a revolver, not something we see ever, not just once in a while, ever, but that's going to be High, answering back to Exiled's 3-round win, picks up an opening double kill for the team, and Swag is able to find a third as well. It's now a 2-player advantage for the side of Nova, and I think this is where they can start to turn things around and shift the momentum a little bit back in their favor.
Yeah, we got Neji up in the top side, but Vague's going to spot him. Bear's going to be the only player remaining, and he will get spotted by Swag, who's able to drop him, and just like that, we do finally have Nova Imperium picking up their first round win. Definitely much needed, and Hex, who, like we talked about before, has been very, very hit or miss. He's either top frag or bottom frag, and right now has not yet picked up a kill, just now going back to pick up the bomb. Likely a big reason for that is him using the chopper in Search and Destroy. The chopper is no doubt a great option when it comes to respawns. He's able to get his first frag right there, but Just not great for search and destroy because so much of it does come down to split-second reaction times. Fortunately for him, Exiled Silo going to be the only player remaining. And without the... No, the bomb is in his hand. He's actually able to pick up the frag onto Hyde. That makes it a little bit more manageable. We see Hax over on the bomb site getting the plant down, and the trophy system will disappear. He's going to send out the thermite, gets a hit marker onto Hax, but he'll be able to survive, and now looking to make the rotation into trailer. He's going to try to hop through the window, and actually now has the location of Zealous on the inside. Hax going to peek over the head glitch. He'll be able to land the shots. It'll be 2 rounds in a row going over to Nova Imperium.
Yeah, and this is definitely the Nova Imperium I would expect to see a little bit more throughout the rest of this game. Maybe struggling a little bit to find their groove for search in the first couple rounds, but have looked really strong in these past couple. Darky, Bear, Silo popping off super hard for the side of Exiled, but Neji, one of the players that we normally see top frag on the side of Exiled, struggling with 1 kill. That's a rough spot for them to be in. Hax, as you mentioned, was struggling up until this round, or that last round as well. Was able to pick up 2 for the team there. A lot of that could have boiled down to, as you mentioned, the chopper, not really a great search and destroy gun. A lot of, especially when you're on offense, at least when you need to push forward. Definitely a great gun for being set up and holding corners, though. So got to use it in the right spot. We do have him with an AR out this time. No picks yet right now for either team.
Yeah, very slow plays for Exiled right now, and with Swag and High both alive with a sniper, just not a great situation for Exiled, and just like that, 3 players are going to drop. Bear and Neji going to be the only players remaining. Bear will spot a player on the backside, but not able to get the frag. The players will now begin to close in. Rounds the corner, not able to get the frag. Neji all by himself, and Hex will drop him right there. Now 3 rounds in a row going to Nova Imperium, and this is definitely the team that we expected to see coming in. High and Swag picking up a lot of these first bloods the last few rounds have played a really big role for them and allowed them to come back with relative ease against the Exiled team that has seemed pretty confident so far.
I'm down. Yeah, Exiled had a great start to this game, but Nova have really turned things around. That last round was, I mean, I believe that was a clean sweep for them. But it is Neji, who we were just talking about, having been struggling throughout this game, Bobby, able to pick out an opening pick, and a great one at that, picked High off the table, who had 6 kills on the board. We also now have a bomb plant for the side of Exiled, and 1, 2, 3 line him up. Neji and Darky knock him down. 4 rounds now going in favor of the side of Exiled.
Yeah, and even though End hasn't had a whole lot of success so far, he had a really big pick, I believe, on the jump shot onto Swag on the inside of American right there, and that really opened things up for Exile and allowed them to kind of retake that momentum. So we'll see if he can continue to make those plays. We've got the B push coming in. Vague on the inside of that bottom firing range room. Not going to take any type of a push as of yet, and Darky taking shots onto Zealous, not able to get the frag, and picks up another one right there. Unfortunately, Zealous is ready, but he's going to drop a one. No, make it. Oh, now it is a one-man advantage, and just like that, evened up once again. 2 players remaining. Silo taking shots onto firing range. Neji picks up frag onto Swag. High going to be the only player remaining. Silo spots him, but that's going to give away his location. Neji picks up the frag right there, and it is now game point for Exiled.
Yeah, Exiled are in a great position here now. Neji, I mean, we just 2 rounds ago talked about how he was struggling. Now caught up to a lot of players on the board here. I mean, Neji, Silo, Vague, Swag, Hax, all 5 kills. Neji was down at 1 2 rounds ago. So great turnaround for him, really helping the team close out these last 2 rounds and retake the advantage. Darky now getting into a gunfight with Vague. Gonna lose that one, though. And Nova look primed to be able to win this here round, as they do have a 2-man advantage. And just as I say that, Silo is able to take a kill on Swag.
And unfortunately for End, he's going to hit marker onto Vague, and it will be Silo all by himself versus the remaining players. Zealous gets the slide peek around the corner and gets the frag with relative ease, just like that. Now only 2 rounds away from potentially making this comeback, but Nova Imperium has lacked a lot of that consistency like we talked about heading into this game. They need to try to find that rhythm if they're going to be able to get the 2-0. We do see the B defense from Zealous and one other player, Darky, pushing the A site. The frag comes in. Two frags come in. Silo and End both getting frags. Swag's going to drop. No! Swag and High both drop, so there's now no snipers in play for Nova Imperium. The bomb is down over on the A site. And now a three-man advantage location. Oh my gosh, this is just absolutely falling apart. Vague and Zealous will drop, and Exiled actually comes away with the win. We knew it was a possibility, but they just executed so perfectly on that. And we will be going to our first Game 3 of the day.
Yeah, and this is what I was saying right from the beginning, Bobby. Even though Nova Imperium is a team that is competing for the top, Exiled, when they do bring their A game, can compete with any team in this league. I mean, all through the last 2 seasons that they've been in Mobile Mayhem, we've seen them right at the top all season long, struggling a little bit when it comes into finals play, but season play they actually do exceptionally well. As you mentioned, their off-stream games last week went really well, and for them to push us into Game 3 here against Nova Imperium, especially taking a win in Search and Destroy, I think that's huge for them, whether they win or lose this matchup.
Yeah, and I think if I'm looking at the KDs correctly, I think Exiled only had one more kill than Nova Imperium, but they were actually able to come away with the win 6-4, so really just played the rounds that they needed so perfectly, and you can see just consistency across the board ended up paying off for them. They were able to get the win over this all-star type of team in Nova Imperium, and I'm excited to see what Domination Firing Range has in store for us, especially given how much this Exiled team has obviously improved. If at the very least, just snagging 10 points away from Nova Imperium, who's going to be one of those contenders for one of the top spots. And especially looking at their division, it's the most competitive division in Mobile Mayhem. Turbulence already at 60 points. They're going up against Exiled, who is in their same division. So just a really, really big win for Exiled as they minimize the impact of whatever happens in game number 3. And Nova Imperium, at the very most, going to be able to move up to second. And depending on what Tribe does right here in the matchup coming up later, might not even be able to move up into second.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't have the scoreboards up ahead of me, but this is a tight race, Bobby, up towards the top. I mean, obviously, we'll be looking at the top, 3 teams out of each division will be kind of the main ones to be looking at, especially as we get further and further into this season. But again, this is huge for Exiled, whether they're able to pick up a win here and get those 10 points, or even if they lose, they denied, I mean, it's a guaranteed at least denied Nova 10 points at this point. Exiled came through strong, won the Search and Destroy. Nova, for a large portion of the hardpoint game, did look to be in control. Exiled turned things around towards the middle late game, and were able to nearly even things out, but again, a little too late. So moving into Game 3 here, this is going to be very, very important for them. And I do think Exile do have the slight benefit of the doubt, are dynamic as opposed to obviously moving into Domination where the flags are static. This is a big opportunity for them where they maybe won't lose as many anchors. They have some extra vantage points over the B flag. So if Exile could come out of the gate strong here, they have a chance to take this game over Nova Imperium.
And just like that, End finds the first blood onto Swag. That's going to be big in minimizing his impact across that mid area. We do get some time on the B flag for Nova Imperium, but End playing really well off the start, finding a couple frags. And unfortunately for him,
Bear,
there's just
play for Bear.
There's a lot of fragging power over on Nova Imperium. The B flag already most of the way capped, but Vague's gonna drop out of the sky as he gets absolutely beamed by End, and he is in what some would call the flow state right now. Unfortunately, not able to find that frag, but 4 on the board for him already. Still 2 players on Exiled struggling to come online. but they're able to keep the B flag unoccupied for the time being. Hex is going to slide on, but End is ready for it, and Swag's going to slide it, finally able to take him out right there. They're able to finish off the B cap, and that is a big take for them.
Yeah, and that is big unfortunate for Exiled. They were able to hold off the B cap for so long, and then Nova, one by one, were able to come in and lock it in. Now they have a big opportunity to hold this for points. Very even game here, obviously still very early on, 15 to 22. I mean, looking at the kills across the board and having a big performance, but Hack's really struggling to come on here today overall, not just in this game. He's got 1 kill on the board, once again kind of falling back into the comfort of the chopper, being able to set up, maybe to hold down points, but it has just not been working out for him thus far. Zealous and High, though, are definitely shining here on the side of Nova.
Yeah, Neji finding a big frag onto Vague around that corner, and that's going to open things up in this mid-map area. Darky finds another one. Beautiful two-piece onto Zealous and Swag. He will get spotted from the top side by Swag, I believe, or it may have actually been Hex, who's now up to 3 kills on the board. A little surprised to see we haven't seen him make that switch over to an AR. Seemingly the entire map running ARs with the exception of a couple GKSs here and there, and he's pretty content to just stick in top of 10, and it's just not working out for him. I'm expecting we may see a switch soon, but he's sticking to it for the time being, and fortunately for him, his teammates still controlling that map to perfection. They're going to take control of trailer right here, and Swag now just continuing to spray through those open areas, finds the frag onto Darky. They will likely be going into the half with close to a 35-point lead.
Yeah, and this is a really big position for Nova to be in. I mean, again, coming off of what I would consider to be an upset in Search and Destroy, to come through strong with a now have a triple cap going just to close things out, as you mentioned, about 35, 36 points in favor for the side of Nova. Moving into the second half, the team who's winning in kills usually is able to stack those score streaks on. And just looking at the kills across the board, Zealous 10, Swag 10, Vague 8, High 7, Hack 6. Hack's finally able to turn things around for himself. And then you look over at the side of Nova, or I mean at the side of Exile. Exile's not doing horrible, but Silo really, really struggling this game. And at this point, honestly, even not just the 2 kills, not really helping the team too much, Silo has died a lot itself, so feeding some of those score streaks over to the side of Nova.
Yeah, we got Vague already up to, I believe, his second Annihilator, and 13 kills on the board for him, bouncing back from a slower respawn than we typically see from him in that first hardpoint matchup. He's going to find the frag onto Silo as well, who is just continuing to feed. 15 kills now in play. Hex, even though he hasn't been able to get a whole lot of kills, using that persistence to get a Pred missile, he's now up to 9 kills on the board. Unfortunately, will drop to bear right there, and just himself not quite finding the flow state today, but Vague's going to call in the Pred, gets another 2-piece, 17 kills for him. Looking like it may only be a matter of time for Nova Imperium. They do get the trade over onto the A flag, and still 1 flag apiece for each of these teams. ICR becoming more of a factor with the ban of the HVK. Vague gets another 2-piece from the top of 10 right there. He's going to get the advanced UAV, and likely now the frags are going to start to come in even more.
Oh, Swag with a big nade. Just stopped the cap for Exiled onto B. That's going to be great for them trying to hold down some points. They're going for potentially a triple cap if they're able to keep the score streaks up. They've got A and C. They stopped the cap onto B, or they got stopped at A actually, just barely.
And we see High with a really big feed right there. I think I saw a triple, and the Pred missiles are now just coming in left and right. It seems like the majority of the kill feed is Pred missiles right now, and we got 2 players on the B flag. We see Zealous spraying through wood right there, trying to find the frag, but he's not able to, so they're not building on the lead, but at this point, they don't really need to. They've already got a 35-point lead, so they're pretty content to just sit here and wait for the plays. The cluster strike's going to go in onto B. Going to prevent Exiled from getting that cap once again, and even though we get a lot of these annihilators, the operators, the score streaks coming in, they haven't been able to capitalize on to C as well. We'll see if they can make some things happen, as we do now have 3 players over on the B flag for Nova Imperium, and they're able to retake that pretty quickly.
Yeah, and Bobby, we are officially at a point where Exiled need to hold a triple cap for at least a couple seconds to turn this game around. So that's a rough spot to be in, especially with Nova just popping through the kills so hard right now. The Vague picks up a quad for his team there. 24 kills, 25 kills for Vague. Big game for Vague after we saw him struggle in the first match of Hardpoint.
Yeah, the triple cap's going to come in. 26, make it 27 for Vague, just turning left and right. He is teaming with the ICR. These plays are just unfair at this point, and he is not missing. What is this feed I'm watching right now? This man is insane. Won't find the frag on the end, but at this point, probably not going to matter, as only a matter of seconds before Nova Imperium walks away with the win, and the 31 for Vague. Not going to be able to win that gunfight, but it's not going to matter. 150 to 89. They get the win, and they will get the 10 points as they get the 2-1 in our second matchup of Mobile Mayhem.
Yeah, that was a really, really big showing from Nova there. Obviously, Vague popped off super hard in the kills department, but you really have to give a lot of credit to Hax. Hax was able to put up double digits captures in that game. So crossing all the way into 10. Next closest was Vague and Silo tied at 6. So Hax playing big objective player there. Not massively positive in the KD. He went 16-5 with 20 assists, but again, really helped his team with the point and map control. So Hax has been a really, really big, subtle player for the side of Nova that deserves credit to be shown when it arises.
Yeah, and Vague playing the OBJ relatively well, and also going 31-12, no doubt deserving of that MVP spot, and just absolute. Wait, why did the stream crash?
It's crashed a couple times.
Oh, I cry. Spectrum! I hate you!
Yeah, feels bad, man. Feels bad.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna get Sylvia to call Spectrum and yell at them. Alright. We are getting ready to hop into our next matchup. That is going to be Fearless versus Tribe. And it crashed again. Cool.
Oh, yikes.
It's so weird because the little box isn't even going red. It's staying green, and my upload speed just randomly goes to 0. So I don't know if it's an OBS issue or if it's an internet issue. That is unfortunate to see, but regardless, we do have both of our teams loading in, like we said. Fearless versus Tribe should be another great matchup. Tribe in that competitive Division 2. We'll see if they're able to continue to move up in the standings, as they do now have the opportunity to pass Nova Imperium, with them not able to get the full 20 points. And this Fearless team has struggled a good bit, so definitely a good opportunity for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, for Exiled, obviously they did take the loss there. I think you walk away with your head held up high there. Exiled were able to turn around a what I had expected to be a good search and destroy matchup that would have went to Nova Imperium. Based off a history of the team, they were able to flip that around into a game 3. Didn't pick up the win in game 3, but again, when it comes down to these teams in the top 3 of each bracket, denying a team like Nova Imperium 10 points really kind of shakes up the bracket a bit, Bobby. So again, Exile doesn't lose points one way or another, but it does cushion them a little bit in the fact that while they gain 0, their opposition only gained 10. That does make Nova Imperium have to keep an eye on their points in the weeks moving forward as well, for where they're going to place, and obviously if they're going to go into potentially a third place matchup, or if they're going to go into the finals. So definitely gotta watch for this team, because this is a team that's come through and been an MVP team or an all-star team, and has had exceptional performances. And there was definitely early on some sloppiness to their play today, and I don't know if that's just maybe not being warmed up, or if they didn't take Exiled seriously and Exiled really punished them for it. Because obviously game 3, that was that was a frag fest for
Yeah,
the side
that
of
was
Nova,
pretty
so.
one-sided. They were just absolutely in the zone, and if they had been playing like that in game 2, like obviously Exiled played well, but wasn't remotely close to the way that Nova Imperium was playing in that third game. So we talked about that coming into it. Like, we know that that's a team that has struggled with their consistency. There's a lot of young players, so it's understandable. But if they're going to be able to get a championship in Mobile Mayhem, they're going to have to try to work that out, because as far as I know, that core team has not yet secured a championship together.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do think this next matchup should be a pretty good one. Tribe is a team that has struggled on and off for the past couple seasons. They've done much better this season and towards the tail of last season. So I think this will be a good matchup for Fearless to go up against. I mean, Fearless definitely a team that is also consistency. Shield we have seen pop off and also not get a kill. Steezy we've seen pop off really hard. We've seen Steezy not get a kill. Lethal we've seen, landing just absolutely crazy shots in Search and Destroy. And then we've seen other games where, we're round 5, round 6 in, and he hasn't had a reasonable impact on the game. So definitely need to see Fearless tighten things up a little bit. Tribe, again, I think this has been a big play for Tribe, moving Little B kind of more towards the main roster. I know for a while, and it may still be that he's a sub for the team, but he's been such a strong driving player for the side of Tribe. And we've really seen him develop his skills over the course of the past couple seasons as well. So I think that's a big advantage for Tribe to have a player step up so big. Tectonic struggled quite a bit through the last seasons. And then this season has started to come through and shine a little bit more. Leon as well really seemed to be improving throughout this season. So I do think Tribe is going to give Fearless a hard matchup, but this is a good opportunity for Fearless to bring their A game and show that they can push Tribe as well.
Yep, as far as our weapon bans, for those of you who are just now joining us, we have introduced weapon bans in Mobile Mayhem, so no surprise to see Tribe banning the HVK. It has become the most regularly used gun in Mobile Mayhem, so typically we do see the at least the predicted stronger team banning the HVK, and then over on Fearless we see them banning the chopper. I'm interested to see if that's going to be much of a factor. I think Leon does occasionally use the chopper, but it's typically not a huge factor.
Leon and Tech both have actually been using the chopper lately. So.
Tech has?
Tech, yeah. Yeah, he used it last week.
Are you sure?
Positive.
All right. If you say so. We do have those two weapons banned, so we'll see what type of an impact comes into play. Likely going to see a lot of ASM 10s and ICRs, which we saw in game number 1, as well as a lot of DRHs, and obviously Nero sticking to his trusty Type 25. Couple frags coming in off the start for Tribe. Nero looking to secure the flank. He's going to be able to get the frag onto Steezy. Finds another one onto Shield as well, and that will secure the hard point off the start for Tribe. Gonna get the trophy system down there as well, and a frag onto Lethal and Nero in the zone off the start.
Yeah, absolutely. Tribe picking up quite a few points here on the first hard point. This is another one of those maps where this is a hard point that we see very evenly contested or not contested much by either team. So no shock here that it's not a 40-point lead for a team right now. The next hard point as well, very open and a lot of opportunity to rotate from many angles. the big punishing factor of Summit is looking into the next coming up couple hard points that we have, where anchors are going to play a really big, important factor of the game, and winning those rotational gunfights. So keep an eye out for that. Lil B actually does have the ballistic shield on, so that would be interesting to see come into play.
And that is actually interesting. It makes a little bit more sense for hardpoint when you are trying to get a push in, so it could potentially just be the wall that pushes in for his team. Lethal actually gonna suicide to his thermite right there, but Steezy set up very well on the hardpoint. He's been good for Fearless so far. 7 kills on the board for him. Unfortunately, not going to be able to evade Tectonic, who struggled a little bit last week, but it looks like returning to his normal self. 9 kills on the board already. We've got Leon pulling out, I believe, the KN-44 right there, and has not had a whole lot of success with it, as he's stuck down at 1 kill. Has struggled a little bit in recent weeks. We'll see if he can pick things back up, and Fearless is actually set up really well right now. They've got control of spawns, control of the hard point. East is going to get the frag on the Childs. This is going to be a very difficult rotation for Tribe. Tectonic's going to try to get the Pred missile, but I don't think he was able to get any frags with it, and that's going to be a big loss for them, especially with how well we have Fearless set up right now. But it looks like the push coming in for Tribe has been successful, and with Tectonic winning that gunfight, they will be in control of the hard point.
Yep, they are in control of that anchor as well, so this is a big opportunity for Tribe to pick up quite a bit of points. It will take quite a bit of time for the side of Fearless to regroup here, but we do actually see them picking up a couple kills. They may be able to make a push in here, Bobby.
Yeah, it looks like they've got the manpower to do so. The grab spikes are going to come in. The game still will not let me switch to first person, and there's actually nobody on the hill for the time being. Lethal trying to push out for control of Nyx. He's going to get the frag with the LK-24. Not able to find the second, but the feed looking very much in favor of Fearless. They're pushing out, trying to get this control. They're going to be able to take out Nero as well. And things opening up. They're not going to be able to push the backside quite yet because of that thermite, but rounding the corner is Lethal. Tectonic is ready for him. Beautiful counter, and it is now the feed going completely the opposite direction as Tribe is filling it up. Tectonic now with 14 on the board.
Yeah, and what was really unfortunate for the side of Fearless there is they didn't make that push. They made that commitment to go for that long side of hardpoint for the trickle of 20-some points. Then didn't sit on it for quite a while there, and actually gave the anchor back up over to Tribe, who are now locked down into this next hardpoint, accumulating quite a bit here, crossing into the 100-point mark. And Shield actually does make a strong rotation in here, does not find Childs though. And it is going to be Tribe hanging onto that respawn, hanging onto that hardpoint as well. And they will set themselves up to be poised to win in the next couple hardpoints. The first couple hardpoints on Summit, we don't see a lot of score going over usually. But now that we're in the second rotation through, there will be score streaks, there will be operators available, and Tribe are within 25 points of a win at this point.
And Tectonic's going to be able to take Shield off of his Annihilator, but immediately drops off of his as well, as another Annihilator player enters the top of Control Center. And this game does not want me to go to first person. I'm going to lose my mind right now.
Lil B comes through with a double with the ballistic shield there, though.
Ooh, that's actually a really big setup for them. He's going to be able to create a distraction that allows Tectonic to get another frag for himself. Now only 10 points needed for Tribe to close this one down. 2 players in top Control Center, and Leon fragging out on the outside. I talked actually earlier about how much he had been struggling recently, and just like that, he bounces back and has a huge game for Tribe, as he's now got 16 kills on the board, and that's going to be a 150-60 win for Tribe Gaming, as Tectonic making his reappearance to MVP form, picking up 18 kills in the MVP.
Yeah, and Fearless did fight quite a bit for those anchors, but unfortunately lost the gunfights when it mattered. We saw them make some really good actual pushes into the trail of some hard points, but again, I feel like a lot of that went over into the fact that Tribe was already pushing into, for example, Lil B spent a lot of time making sure he made those anchor rotations for the team there. So even though we saw Fearless pick up the tail end of a couple hard points, they ended up giving up a good 75% of the next objective just by being late to the party. So that is something that you have to keep in mind. If you're going to get a kill on a hard point and pick up 10 points, but the next hard point is across the map, you are essentially giving that player a free respawn over to his team to get set up. So you do have to be kind of cautious of making those late rotations on Summit is going to be a big map. Crash and then Crossfire as well are all very punishing maps if you make late rotation.
Yeah, that was definitely very well performed by Tribe. So we've seen them be, especially in stage 4, one of the better respawn teams. They've struggled a little bit in Mobile Mayhem, but the Search and Destroy is typically where if they're going to struggle, it is going to be here. Little B has not been sniping for them as of late, so we'll see whether or not we continue to see Tectonic pulling out the sniper. He's been decent with it in past weeks, but probably not at quite the place where you would like to have a sniper primary, especially for a Search and Destroy player, and given what he can do with an SMG or an AR, typically you'd like to see him sticking to that main role, but we'll get ready as our players ready up. Lethal likely going to be pulling out the sniper for Fearless, and we're going to be hopping into Standoff Search and Destroy, which I would say is probably one of Tribe's best Search and Destroy maps because of how much, especially on the offensive side, it favors the aggressor, and this is an extremely aggressive Search and Destroy team.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and we do see Lil B pulling out the sniper. He is typically our
he swapped.
Typically the one that we've seen. May just be to get into position, so we'll have to see. Because this actually is a really big sniper map for Search and Destroy, specifically across middle of street here. So keep an eye out for that. But he may very well just not, actually, which is just a little bit different. That does give a little bit of a range advantage over to the side of Fearless and Lethal, who's been able to pick up one already with the Thermite. And right now it's a 2v2, so kills dropping back and forth for both of these teams. But it looks like Lethal in a tough pinch here. Maybe get a rotation over East to help him out. But that is going to be Lil B picking that one up.
Yeah, Lil B was prepared. No dead silence, making things difficult. And actually, I think he spotted the player on the inside.
He did.
They're actually choosing to just...
East did at least.
Yeah, and I don't think Little B spotted him, so they're now going to make the rotation all the way back toward A. The bomb is down over there, and East in hot pursuit, looking to maybe make contact from top of Grandma's right here, but will spot one player as they make the rotation. They'll probably be able to get the plant down. They do. The plant is down on A, and Little B, I believe, spotting him right there. They're now going to set up on head glitches and make things a lot more difficult for him. He does get a hit marker onto Leon, but not going to get the frag as they're content to sit back, allowing him to make the first move and hoping he's going to make a mistake right here. He has pushed in.
Right?
Oh my gosh. And Little B, he's ready for him. Hard scope in that angle and perfectly executed as he gets the frag, and Tribe goes up 1-0.
Yeah, unfortunately for East, I think a little bit of nerves may have played into the factor there. I mean, Lil B was tucked up in the corner, laser going, and just did not corner check it. So jumped right into the opening and did get gunned down. I mean, again, he was running out of time, had to make a play. But got to be prepared for those positions revealed, and that's the first round going over to Tribe. No opening pick here right now. East does take quite a bit of damage from a Thermite there, but will make it out alive. I'm actually surprised that Tech is the one that has a sniper out right now for Tribe.
Yeah, it seems like something they're experimenting with more and more. Hasn't been able to find a frag yet, and Tribe actually playing surprisingly passive off the start. This is not an approach that we typically see from them in Search and Destroy, especially on standoff, and just sitting back and waiting. The longer this goes on, the more it favors Fearless. So Steezy lands some shots, I believe, onto Childs right there. He'll be able to get away alive, but content to just sit back, wait for them to make a move. The smokes come in. The utility, always a big factor for Tribe's approach. We are going to have the bomb plant going in over on A. That will put the pressure onto Fearless, and Tectonic's going to pick up the shot onto East. Now a one-man advantage and the bomb down. They're set up perfectly. Nero's going to be able to take a look at that bomb from where he is over on boxes, and now even more pressure on as another Fearless player drops. Shield looking to make some sort of a push, but just doesn't have much of an angle to work with. Little B actually drops right there. Fortunately, Childs is able to get the refrag. Still a man advantage for Tribe and only 15 seconds to work with. Should be a pretty manageable closeout, assuming they don't make any major mistakes. And now sliding the corner is Nero, picks up the frag. No time for the defuse for Fearless. He's not going to be able to get the final kill, but it's not going to matter. The bomb will go off, and it will be a 2-0 lead for Tribe.
Lost that round, but it's not over yet.
Yeah, and Tribe have really transitioned a bit, in my opinion, Bobby. You know, I've mentioned it before, but Tribe always was kind of the top dog for Respawn leading up into Mobile Mayhem Season 1 and then prior. And I think they very much actually shift to an incredibly strong search and destroy team. I mean, obviously not a bad Respawn team, but if you watch a lot of the rotations, this team is actually really good at covering each other's back. Tectonic there, able to pick up a kill onto East, but Tribe are going to get dropped in a 2v1 trade there, so one player advantage for Fearless. This is a big opportunity for them to turn things around and maybe stop some of that momentum that Tribe have had going for them. But with Lil B and Tech on the board, those are two very scary names live for Tribe that Fearless will have to deal with.
Yeah, and Shield's going to take some damage right there. We'll be able to stay alive. The aggressive approach for Tribe not paying off right there. We've seen it go their way a lot of times in the past, but we saw Fearless was 100% ready for that. And Tectonic, I think, may have spotted somebody on top of Blue. He won't be able to take the shot. Now moving up to that tank area, trying to see if he can find one Fearless player to even things up and make this an easier push, but not going to be able to hit that shot right there. Childs is finally able to find the frag on a lethal. Tectonic takes out Shield. One player inside of the cubby, but Tectonic is ready for it. Lands the snipe. He can do it all. Steezy, the only player alive. It's a 1v3. The bomb plant is going to go down onto A. He is stuck back in spawn, and with Tribe all around the bomb site, it's going to be a very difficult push. Tectonic actually hit markers right there. Not able to get the kill shot. Wants the wall bang, and seeming like it's only a matter of time before Steezy gets spotted. There's one player inside of Grandma's. He's going to get spotted from behind. Childs picks up the frag. 5 on the board for him. And now a 3-0 lead for Tribe.
Yeah, Childs, the one that got away from Steezy earlier, ended up being the one to bring him down. So a little bit of a rough karma moment for Steezy when he was unable to find that kill. But Tribe up 3-0, as you mentioned, Bobby. They lead in a great spot. They've done phenomenal work here on offense. I mean, Tech has actually picked up the sniper and had a phenomenal performance here. That last round alone, as we mentioned, Tribe were down a player. Between Childs and Tectonic's double kill, really heavily swung things into their favor. So, big plays for Tectonic there.
Yeah, and no first blood once again, but it seems like Tribe has been able to manage a lot better with the slow pushes, and Tectonic missing a couple of easy snipes. He's actually going to get hit markered, forced to jump back and go for the regen right here. He's going to go, oh my gosh, the wallbang from Lethal. I don't know how he did it, but perfectly predicted, and Fearless is now at a man advantage, looking like they might finally be able to take a round, but Little B picks up the sniper and rips him off the head glitch immediately, and just like that, 4 players remaining for each team. Nero picking up the bomb, looking like we will once again have the A push, and with 4 players coming in, we see the utility going out. 1 player there to defend in Riot's, not a whole lot he's going to be able to do. Nero's taking damage from the thermite. He's just going to eat the damage. I don't really know what that was. Couple frags coming in. It's now Little B and Childs versus the 3 remaining Fearless players. Childs is trying to find the frag. Not able to do it. Little B drops. It's a 1v3 for him. And unfortunate series of events for Tribe is he's going to throw the smoke over to the side, trying to see if he can get the flank and take them by surprise. But Fearless is set up pretty flawlessly. Shield's going to be ready for the push, and it will be Fearless getting their first round win as we move to 1-3.
Yeah, and that was actually a really big return pick coming out of Lil B, who we mentioned was kind of the opening sniper for Tribe in previous weeks. Tech did lose out on the kill to Lethal. Lil B was able to pick that sniper up and get the return kill. I'm not really sure what happened with Nero just standing in the thermite, but I think a lot of that could have potentially been what cost Tribe that round. They almost had the bomb plant down. It would have given them an opportunity to set up as many But just stuck around a little too long. Lil B, however, coming through this round, picks up a double kill there. Leon finds Steezy as well. It's now a lone Riot against the whole squad of Tribe, and this is very likely shy of a miracle. Going to be 4 rounds now going over to Tribe to the 1 of Fearless.
Yeah, that was a really big flank coming in for Little B. Gets the first 2 and probably could have had a third if his teammate hadn't yoinked it right there. So now 6 kills for him and Childs. And Tribe looking like they could be on their way to a 2-0 and on their way to a tie for first place in that tight Division 2. Thermite damage coming in for Childs. He's getting pretty good damage right there. Gets the frag on to East as well. It will be Riot's all by himself once again. Not a good sign for Fearless. And he is going to get shots from behind, but just misses way too many. Had a really big opportunity right there. Very nearly dies to his own Thermite, but he's now forced to retreat back into spawn once again. Childs pushing around. He's going to get the frag. Now up to 8 kills, and it is now match point for Tribe Gaming.
Yeah, Tribe primed in spot to win this 2-0 victory here. Would get them 20 points on the board for the week. Well, at least for today. Obviously, we still have Thursday ahead of us, so we'll have to keep an eye out for how they perform here then. But again, I'm glad that Tribe has really done a great job of turning things around from Season 2, in which they struggled quite a bit. Riots comes out at the wrong point there, and Nero is going to drop him. It's going to be a 1-player advantage for Tribe, and just as I say that, East and Steezy are able to pick up kills, but Nero and Little B picking up a couple more for them. And it's now a lone lethal in match point against 3 members of Tribes who have 8, 7, and 6 kills respectively.
Yeah, he's just not been able to find that rhythm so far today. Only 2 kills. The nade's going to go in. Won't be concussed, but he is kind of trapped. There's a Molotov right there. Players on the bottom side, they seem to know exactly where he is, and just looks like he is terrified for his life right now as he's trying so desperately to find a pick right here. Obviously, Tribe playing the bomb as it is down back in spawn and not able to find anybody yet. Had an opportunity to get a pick right there, but he missed the shot, and Tribe now probably just going to sit back and wait for him to make the push. He's going to go back to this mid angle to see if he can spot anybody, but Tribe not peeking any unnecessary angles. And, I mean, honestly, it's probably just a matter of time.
Yeah, he had to make that rotation over. Last live on offensive, he had to pick up the bomb. Tribe were set up to defend every angle there. And with just a sniper available to you, hadn't really picked up a separate weapon. Lethal will get dropped there at the end, closing things out. Tribe 6-1 Tectonic, as you mentioned, in Game 1. Coming through strong once again, Game 2 here in Search and Destroy, with a MVP under his belt as well. So, 9 kills on the board for him. Excellent, excellent work out of Tribe.
Yep, they were very solidly in control of that pretty much the entire time. Leon, the only player to struggle. We've seen him very, very hit or miss the last couple weeks of Mobile Mayhem, so it seems like that is the 1 weak spot for them, but overall, just a really good performance today. Whenever they're going up against some of those more experienced teams, they're going to need to see more out of him, as they didn't need a lot of that fragging power, but you'd like to see him go better than 1 in 3, so we'll see if he can pick things up in Thursday's play. Keep in mind, every Tuesday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will be here, so make sure to subscribe and follow if you haven't already. That's our 3rd matchup, and we are getting ready to hop into our final matchup of the night, and the one that I am most excited to watch, which is going to be Infinix versus Fierce, 2 absolute powerhouses, 2 teams that have been so good throughout the history of Mobile Mayhem, and probably, if I had to guess, probably the 2 teams that have had the most semifinals and finals appearances. This is definitely going to be a fun one to watch.
Yeah, this certainly should be our best matchup of the night, Bobby. Infinix, a team that honestly just excels so hard through the open season. We did see them struggle quite a bit in finals play, both in the last season and the season before. Even though they were able to close out the win last season, it definitely kind of a spotty performance through a large portion of that game. They actually were able to make a comeback and pull together the win. Fierce, another team that is currently sitting up at the top of the roster, which is really big for them, and or of the leaderboards, and have really put together a super strong roster here. They were able to pick up quite a few members of the old Hammers slash Arsenal roster. Um, that being, Main Mike One, obviously one of our kind of shotgun experts that we haven't seen use as much shotgun, as the shotguns have obviously had some nerfs. Sneaky Shadow as well. And then you pair that together with Forsaken, Raballo, Renounce. I mean, just such a strong roster Fierce have coming through to this season. So I'm actually very, very excited about this matchup.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a good one, especially with these two teams being in the same division. Division 1, not quite as competitive, I would say. They seem to be pretty well set apart at the very top. Xset and Violence, the only two teams anywhere close, and Infinix and Fierce just seem to have the better roster. So if I had to guess, those will likely be the two teams that we see moving to the semifinals. We could see Xset or Violence putting up a good fight, but this has got pretty big implications for who's going to have to play in the play-in game as well. So if Infinix gets the 2-0, they'll be able to tie things up with Fierce. But if Fierce gets any type of a win here, moving up to 30 points above Infinix is going to be really, really good for them, especially with how good Infinix is both in the regular season, and we saw them improve a good bit in the postseason last season as well. There's more on the line this season as well, with $2,500 in play. And we did see Tribe Gaming getting the 2-0 win, so that allowed them to tie things up with Turbulence at the top of Division 2. So that's going to be an entirely different story, but definitely excited to see how this next matchup is going to play out.
Yeah, and here comes Tatio
Yeah.
with the raid, and history tells us that usually when Tatio comes through with a big raid like this, they play pretty well, so we'll have to see if Infinix are able to carry through that energy. Again, they are up against a incredibly strong Fierce roster. In fact, I think this is the best Fierce roster to date, so as we do have our final player, Raballo, loading in, very likely just having some players tidying things up, getting ready for our first matchup will be Hardpoint on Crossfire. So again, a very, very punishing map for if you make late rotations. We need to see teams going for those anchor fights and trying to get spawns in their advantage. Very much like the corner hardpoints of Crash, the hardpoints on this map are very, very hard to break. And if you are not able to win a fight, it quite often results in you just trying to pick up some kills and perhaps get set up for next point. So we'll have to keep an eye on how these two teams, who are kind of the upper echelon, Bobby, are able to make those rotations, and what players are going to end up making those anchoring rotations in this matchup. I mean, typically for Infinix, we see a lot of Envoy and Yuji making those rotations, and then I would say over on the side of Fierce, we would be seeing potentially Raballo as well as Renounce, who looks to be subbing in for Main Mike right now.
Yep, taking a look at the weapon bans, we got an interesting one. Infinix actually banning the Buy 15, so that one's likely targeted at Main Mike, who is one of the shotgun primary players. We don't really expect that. Looking at the maps, I think that's what makes that ban decision so interesting. Crossfire Hardpoint, you don't really expect to see shotguns in play. S&D Meltdown, don't typically see shotguns in play. Firing Range Domination, don't typically see shotguns in play, so I'm interested to see what the reasoning behind that one is. Fierce, obviously banning the HVK, which we expected. It's been banned in all of the matchups so far today, and as the most dominant weapon in this season of Mobile Mayhem, not too much of a surprise. We do have Cheto returning for Infinix. His absence not really felt last week, with Dante absolutely slaying out in his place, but we'll see if he can return to his usual self, as we got all of our players loaded in, and we should be good to go for our final matchup of the night, as we're going to go ahead and hop into the game.
Yeah, back-to-back seasons for Infinix, they have been able to pick up a player who just absolutely meshes right into this team and absolutely rips the leaderboards apart. That being Tempo, who was our MVP of the split last season. And then
Rookie of the split.
Dante, or yeah, rookie of the split. Sorry, rookie of the split last season, and then Dante I would put as a very likely competitor for rookie of the split this season. So. I mean, that really just goes to show how strong this Infinix roster has become. Tempo, unfortunately, makes the rotation through the smoke there. Going to get dropped by Forsaken.
And we do have Shadow up on the top side. He will spot Tatio coming through that doorway, picks up the frag. Pretty solid start coming in for Fierce. And we see Robalo sick into the M4, even though most people would probably argue it is one of the worst, if not the worst ARs in the game. Still sticking with it and does pick up a frag, but will be taken out by Yuji, who's actually using the AGR right now. Once again, not a gun that we've seen a lot, but with these weapon bans coming into play, we are seeing a lot more off meta, and we do see Fierce with a pretty good start, and Forsaken, 5 kills already. That is a really big start for Fierce, and with them cleaning up most of the scrap time, should set them up well, as he does have persistence on, and we'll start to see that stack up more and more the further that we get into this game.
Yeah, and with that hard point in the middle here on Crash being, or on Crossfire being so incredibly hard to break, we do see the side of Fierce actually picking up quite a few points. And as I mentioned, a lot of these hard points will boil down to if you don't win the fight, you're very likely going to get set up for next. Infinix have done a great job doing that. Forsaken actually picks up a double kill. This might give a little bit of a break over to the side of Fierce. Picks up a third, picks up a fourth. Forsaken doing the work of the gods for his team there.
Yeah, Tatio, the only thing that saved that, and Renounce is actually going to hop into the hard point. He's going to be able to take that for Fierce, and that'll set them up well. Already up a pretty good amount, and continuing to tick upward. He is, I believe, the only player on this top side, so that means his team's also going to be able to set up pretty well for next. You can see Forsaken already up into double digits so early in the game. That's going to be huge. Robalo picks up another with the M4, and I may have a game crash. I do. You feel free to continue commentating.
Well, so far it is just Fierce kind of holding down their ground. Robalo making good work of the M4 here, lasering people down over head glitches. We do have Infinix making the rotation over, trying to get that anchor in. Infinix finally finding a break as 5 clean kills go over into their favor. Cheto actually finds 2 back on the sniper once again, so playing a little bit of respawn sniper here. Yuji also has a sniper in hand, picks up a double kill for his team as well. And just like that, Infinix are able to get in the realm of tying things up, as well as potentially taking a lead. So I think if you are the side of Fierce here, again, I think you just start to make that rotation over to next, in which I think Cheto's trying to anchor right now, but a couple players coming on over to him. Finds one, is unable to find the second. Robalo with the M4 is going to gun him down, is going to pick up the great position to be in if you are Fierce for locking down this next hard point.
Yeah, and Yuji actually picking up the sniper himself right now, so not typically a sniper primary for Infinix. Even with a pretty big kill disparity going the way of Fierce, they've been able to hold the win hold the advantage for the time being. Fierce is set up pretty well on this next hard point. We know this is one of the most difficult ones to break. Shadow set up in the back with a sniper. Perfect positioning for him. Nobody going to be able to make any type of attempt to come through that doorway. Fortunately for Infinix, he misses both of those shots, but Sneaky waiting on the other side with a sniper of his own. They're going to continue to move upward, looking like they could potentially move up to 120 points, but just like that, we actually get the break coming in for Infinix. Renounce is going to spawn on the backside, gets the frag, could have a push in right here. There's still Cheto on the hard point, and he is going to stop him dead in his tracks. Now 11 kills on the board. They'll be able to get the rest of this scrap time and actually move into the lead, hopping into P5.
And this has been a phenomenal matchup back and forth between these two teams. I mean, again, we did expect this to be, you know, pretty much the best matchup we were going to have of the night as far as how even the teams were going. Both teams crossed into 100 points, you know, within seconds of each other here at this point. And right now it is Fierce taking just a couple point lead, but they're in a great position if they can hold this hard point down. They've got their respawns. They have their team set up and in position to defend any incoming push from Infinex. And there is enough time on the board for them to win here. So Infinex are out of time as far as making that rotation over to next. They need to get in. They need to get a contest here, or this is going to be game 1 going over to Fierce.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Infinix, Cheto actually ended up getting ripped off of his Annihilator, so that makes things really difficult, especially since they need a contest. If they're going to be able... Oh, what a wallbang by him right before he dies to the cluster strike. I don't think that Fierce can get the win on this hill unless there's more of a... And now they definitely can't, as we do see them getting knocked off the point. It looks like Infinix is setting up pretty well to take control of next Envoy. Trying to peek through that window. He's going to hop onto the hard point for the time being. They will be taking upward. Let's see what type of push Fierce has in store.
Raballo was able to pick up one there, but does get dropped in return. And Infinix, they can win on this hard point, but they cannot afford to make a mistake, and there the mistake is made, or well, rather I should just say the gunfights go in favor of Fierce. They are able to close out those last 4 points they need, and they will take game 1 here from between Fierce and Infinix. Despite the massive kill advantage, Bobby, that the side of Fierce had at the end of that game, it was pretty even and back and forth for a majority. So it really goes to show how important a lot of those rotations can be. And while kills are nice and kills definitely help, with it being that close, this is going to be an interesting search and destroy.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch this one. I mean, Search and Destroy is going to be really interesting because for this Fierce team, you just never know who's going to be sniping. We have Sneaky, who has been marksman of the split. Shadow, who's been in the top 3 of marksman in the split voting. We've seen Raballo just pick it out and do whatever he wants to do with it. So all 3 of those guys can be a really big factor. On the upside for Infinix, Tatio had a pretty terrible game, and they were still able to get the win right there. So that's a really good sign for them. He went double negative, and they were still able to pull it out. Cheto Snipes playing... Wait.
You definitely messed that up, because they did not get the win. They absolutely did not get the win.
Okay, yeah, sorry, the scoreboard shows the wrong results. Okay. They didn't get the win.
Yeah, no, that was a fierce win. Tatio definitely struggled through a large portion of that game. It's actually not often that we see Cheto top fragging for the team in respawn. I mean, it's absolutely something we see him do over and over again in Search and Destroy. But yeah, for respawn, I definitely think that's a little bit of a hindrance, having Cheto actually doing so well, and Tatio struggling quite a bit behind. So hopefully that'll be something that the side of Infinix are able to work out as we move into Search and Destroy. But as I said, Fierce are up 1 game over Infinix at this point, and it would be absolutely huge for Fierce to close this out 2-0. As we mentioned, Infinix needed the 2-0 win here just to tie Fierce. So Fierce are in a great position right now, no matter how the rest of this game goes.
Yep, and we are good to go for game number 2. If you're Infinix, you would love to be able to push this to a game 3 and at least give yourself a shot at moving a little bit closer to Fierce in those leaderboards, as they're currently at the top of Division 1. Shadow's going to pick up the bomb right here, and it looks like it will be an aggressive B push for Fierce off the start. Concussion smokes going out and just absolutely raining down. I think we actually do have one player pushing down for Infinix. The Thermite's going to go down onto the site. That's going to prevent him from making the plant, but no first blood coming in quite yet. He will now be able to get the bomb plant to go down, and we're now taking shots through mid, hoping to find a frag onto Cheto, but we do finally have the first frag coming in for Forsaken as he drops Tatio, who not quite having the performance, like we said, that he would like to be having, but Envoy gets a big 2-piece, Shadow gets a trade, Forsaken gets the FHJ shot, perfect spot right there, and now Fierce with a man advantage. Shadow will take out Yuji there as well, and Fierce will go up 1-0 off the start.
Yeah, that was a big opening for Fierce, and I actually do think this this map presents a really interesting matchup here, in that I always will be a fan of seeing Sneaky and Cheto face off in the sniper position, right? I mean, they're both players that have been, you know, they've both won Marksman of the Split. They've both consistently been in top 3. So this is a really strong matchup to see between these two teams. We have a definitely a lasting impact on this as well. We do have another bomb very quickly planted here for the side of Fierce. It now forces Infinex to fight against the clock, but fortunately for the side of Infinex, Yuji was able to pick up a kill. Cheto picks up another. That one going to be on to Sneaky, and this gives Infinex a great position as it is now looking like they're going to tie things up 1-1 as Tatio finds the final kill on Robalo.
Yeah, that is a big round win for them, and a pretty convincing one as well. 4 players remaining at the end of that one, and looking like they might be able to find some rhythm right here. Envoy picks up kill number 3, as does Yuji, and Tempo and Tatio still lagging behind. I mean, honestly, it's the early round, so you can't take too much into account. We do have Cheto hopping up into top mid to snipe. Actually hit markers onto Sneaky right there. Wishing he would have aimed a little bit higher. Tries to hit the wall bang, but won't be able to make it happen. And the early bomb plant coming in over on the B side once again. Renounce is going to get the plant down, and now looking to set up on generators once again. Trying to protect that mid side. Tatio finally picking up a 2-piece, and that is really big for Infinex, as that opens up the push. Unfortunately, Robalo is waiting for him on the backside of that building. 3 players remain for each team. He's trying to regen, but Tempo is not going to let it happen. Now 1 player remaining in Sneaky, who's yet to pick up that first kill. He's going to peek the long angle, but Cheto is ready for him, rips him off the head glitch. They're going to be able to get the defuse right here, and Infinex now going to go up 2-1.
Yeah, and those will forever be some of my favorite matchups to watch again. Just Cheto versus Sneaky in those long-range battles. Cheto able to get the pull up there, able to find the shot. Sneaky, as you mentioned, struggling quite a bit here. Tatio actually turning things around. Obviously, bottom fragged for the side of Infinex in the last game, and had a massive impact on this last round of Search and Destroy. Able to pick up 2 very key kills for the team. We once again have the side of Fierce making a strong B-side push. We do have Renounce with the bomb making that plant come through here, and that will again force Infinex to fight against the clock. This time Infinex do not have the player advantage. They are now even thanks to Envoy. Make that now having the player advantage. Envoy coming through strong. Tio picking up a kill of his own. This is very much looking like it's going to go up into a 3-1 as Cheto finds Sneaky again.
Gosh, and Infinex is just cooking right now. Envoy absolutely in the zone. Tatio's found his rhythm. Those 2 combining for 11. Cheto finding the perfectly timed snipes. Now a 3-1 lead is they're looking way better, and this is what we expect to see out of Infinex, even if they do struggle in one game, whether it is the respawn or the Search and Destroy. They always bounce back in the next one, and as an Infinex fan, you just gotta love to see the fight that this team puts up. It looks like it is going to be an A push, which is pretty well defended by Infinex right now. The smoke's gonna go out over top, and this could actually end up being an aggressive defense right now for Infinex, as Envoy's looking to push out. There will be shots going across mid from both snipers' nests, yet both teams still looking for first blood.
Cheto finds the wall bang onto Forsaken there, lives with 25 HP, and he will make it out alive. This is a 1-player advantage, once again going over to the side of Infinex in the last round of a Search and Destroy offense here for the side of Fierce. And again, I would fully expect a team that has bomb on this matchup. The play styles you can make going from B-bomb to A-bomb. A-bomb, obviously a lot of close range, B-bomb, a lot of long range. I would have really liked to see Fierce try to push their advantage at A.
Yeah, and this is going to make things significantly more difficult. Cheto's going to end up hit markering right there, but Envoy's going to be able to clean things up. The plant's going to go down on B, but down 3 players. There's not a lot of options for them right now. They've got the sniper in the hands of Shadow. A lot of hit markers for them so far today. He's going to be able to take out Yuji, but both players will drop for Fierce. There are currently 2 players still stuck down at 0 kills for Fierce, which is a really high-octane team. So to see them struggling that much is a little bit surprising, but everything seeming to go the way of Infinix so far is Cheto is just absolutely dominating the sniper battle up against Sneaky. We'll see if he can continue to do it on the defensive side as we do now switch sides. And Cheto
Man.
just right off the bat, he's in the zone.
He is definitely having his A game today. Top fragged in respawn. Can't even remember the last time I saw a Cheto top frag in respawn. Not that he does bad in respawn, just
He's just got so many good
usually-
teammates.
Yeah, right. With the likes of Tatio, Tempo, UG, Envoy, don't see him up there very often, and he is coming through strong for the team here in Search and Destroy.
Oh my
That's top
gosh!
What a shot! What a shot! What a madman, Cheto!
This dude is just on something else today. Raballo's going to be the only player left. He's got Tempo on the outside. He's not going to be able to win the gunfight. It's now a 5-1 lead for Infinix, who, after a rough first game, a hard point, has come storming back against this Fierce team, led in a very major way by Cheto, who is absolutely entering the flow state.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to sleep on Cheto ever, but when he's playing like he's playing today, I mean, that was a clean 1-2-3 that he was able to pick up for the team there, really helping them push this 5-1 advantage. We now have a offense push for the side of Infinix. Cheto did actually hit marker Sneaky there, so that gives Sneaky an opportunity to turn things around, but if they're going to do it, Fierce need to turn it around now. They're down a player. We have Bomb going down for Infinix. It's match point. And if they don't pull something out here, this is very likely going to be Infinix closing out a 6-1.
And we may very well have two players laying a goose egg for Fierce right now, which I don't think we've ever seen. And just like that, Renounce is able to pick up a frag, but Sneaky's not able to. Infinix gets the 6-1 win. And what a game by them. They performed pretty much flawlessly for the entirety of that, led by Cheto, Envoy, and Tempo. And we will be going to yet another Game 3.
Yeah, and again, this was going to be right from the opening, Bobby. We knew this was going to be one of the most exciting matchups of not only today, but this is going to be a matchup that is incredibly contested throughout the whole season. Again, no matter which way this goes, you are in a good spot if you are Fierce by winning that first matchup on Hardpoint. Because again, Infinix needed that 2-0 win here to tie. So at best, Infinix can walk away with 10 points, still in second place. So Fierce have that little bit of a cushion, and moving into Game 3, you definitely got to hope to see Sneaky come a little bit more alive there, because Tatio had a much better game from Game 1 to Game 2. Cheto is just absolutely on his A game today. So this Infinix roster is poised to potentially win a Game 3.
Yeah, I just don't really know what to expect at this point. Like, usually Fierce is absolutely frying, but they could not get anything going. I don't know if that's going to shake their confidence going into that one, or if we're going to see one of those bounce-back performances where teams play way below their potential, and it just makes them angry, and they just play absolutely out of their minds. So we'll see if they're able to turn that loss into a final win and move up even further in Division 1. They are Fierce already at the top of Division 1 by 20 points ahead of Infinix, so a win here would put them very solidly in first, but Infinix could close the gap if they're able to get the win. We're getting ready to hop in to game number 3, which is going to be domination on... Wait, wrong chat. Firing range. Yeah, it's always on firing range. There's no surprise there.
Yeah, chat going crazy over Cheto's triple kill there.
Yeah. He's I mean, that's what the flow state looks like, you know? Just waiting for our teams to ready up, and we'll be good to go for our final game of the night.
And it should certainly be a good one between these two teams. Fierce did have the edge in taking that win in Hardpoint. But even though it is Respawn, this is a very, very different setup of Respawn with static flags. versus the dynamic hardpoint. So definitely got to keep an eye out for that. That could change things up quite a bit. Infinix Gaming had a couple players struggle in game 1 that really started to come online in game 2. You know, specifically looking at Tatio, we don't often see him bottom fragging, especially in respawn modes. So keep an eye out for him moving into game 3, because him having a big impact on this game is going to, honestly, in my opinion, determine Infinix's fate for tonight.
Yep, just waiting for Forsaken to ready up. We got him. Should be good to go for game number 3. And this is a really important one for both teams. The HVK currently banned from this matchup. This is our first night implementing weapon bans, so it's been nice to see a change in the meta. There's still been a lot of DRHs in play, but for the most part, pretty good amount of variety. We'll have Fierce over on the C side, Infinix sending 2 players A side, and the battle for trailer will begin. Renounce will drop to Cheto off the start and picking up right where he left off as he gets another one onto Shadow as well. That means mid is going to be wide open with a nade going over top. It could be an early B cap coming in for Infinix.
Yeah, it was looking to be the case, but then Forsaken was able to come through with a big double kill for the team. Unfortunately, Tatio didn't check his corners, walked right into the gunfire. So that's a big opportunity for the side of Fierce to, as you can see, obviously take away that B cap that Infinix were looking to have. Forsaken actually just getting the better of Tatio over and over again. And Forsaken has honestly been just such a star player here today for this Fierce roster. 5 kills on the board for him, 5 kills for Cheto as well. And then the rest of the lobby kind of struggling a little bit. I mean, this is like all Cheto and all Forsaken right now.
And Forsaken just absolutely frying. Usually waiting in the corner was the only thing that was going to be able to stop him right there. And Sneaky having a better game than he did last game. He's picked up 3, but they're going to need a little bit more out of him to give them a shot, as Tatio's starting to pick things up as well. Cheto just playing mid, waiting for the picks to come through. He's going to try to see if he can find somebody coming through trailer, but can't get the shots to land, and that will allow Fierce to take control of the map, especially over on that side. Sneaky finds the pick onto him, trying to get a little bit of payback for what a performance he had in last game, and Fierce setting up on the point. Tempo will be able to take them off just short of the cap, but with players set up on the inside of Wood and multiple frags coming in for Fierce, they should be able to push in, but oh my gosh, Cheto still fragging out. 8 kills on the board for him.
Yeah, Forsaken is having one heck of a day here, Bobby. 11 kills on the board for him. Very, very close to his cluster strike at this point. He's going to get dropped by Cheto with the car explosion there. But Forsaken, I mean, he's going to be primed to have a very early VTOL in this game if he keeps this up.
Yeah, we can see him only 400 points off of the cluster strike. He actually gets the concussion over there, but he's going to get hit marked by the sniper from Cheto and forced to push back into spawn to regen, as we do see Cheto not quite spotting Raballo climbing up into the nest, and this is actually really big for Fierce, the absolute power position for him. 9 kills, and they're able to take control of the B flag as well. They're set up very well, and really just waiting for his teammates to make the defense over on A, not wanting to give up this position, but Cheto is waiting for him on the bottom side. He's not able to hold it for long, and looking like we may have a flag flip coming in. Both teams able to take it down, and Fierce will continue to move upward as they're now up by 5.
Yeah, Fierce are in a great position. Forsaken 200 points away from his cluster strike at this point, so definitely don't expect to see any optimal push coming out of the side of Infinix onto that, as we do have control of trailer in once again the hands of Forsaken. Round 2 very much so far looking to be a score streak favor going over to the side of Fierce as well. So if you're Fierce, you're probably feeling pretty comfortable going into the game, round 2 here. Are going to have about a 15-point lead going into round 2, so
yeah, they are definitely happy with the way that they played this half, especially with how much they did struggle in that search and destroy. Raballo having a really good game himself, 14 kills. He and Forsaken currently combined for 30, and they're going to go into the half with a 17-point lead. And Raballo got his cluster strike, 600 off of the advanced UAV. Forsaken, only 1,000 off of the VTOL that will likely be coming into play soon. Definitely keep an eye on these Infinix players to see if they've got any Annihilators that are ready to go to shoot it down or potentially pull out some FHJs. I don't think that we've seen any SAM turrets in play, as the VTOL is not something that has been as commonly used, especially since getting nerfed. So we'll have to wait and see on that one, but Infinix does manage to get the early B cap.
Yeah, and Infinix desperately needed that, but not only did they need that, they have to hold that here, because Fierce do have score streaks set up to be able to lock down B flag for a long period of time. We've got a couple cluster strikes stacking up over there. Envoy actually coming through with a big couple kills for the team there, but we need to see them keep the momentum moving forward if they want to have a chance to win this. They have a big opportunity ahead of them, but Fierce team you cannot sleep on whatsoever.
Yeah, Yuji is frying right now with the AGR. He is not missing a shot. He's finally taken out by Forsaken, who is the only player with more kills, now 20 on the board for him and only about 400 away from the VTOL. He's going to get taken out by Envoy. The double cap maintained for Infinix for the time being. The VTOL is likely going to be the turning point. If that's able to stay up in the sky, that's probably going to be a win for Fierce. But if Infinix is able to take it down quickly, they may very well be able to hold this double cap for the entire game and muster a comeback. We'll have to wait and see, as Forsaken, now only 126 points away. He is going to get taken out by Yuji, who is storming through with that Annihilator.
Yeah, unfortunately for the side of Infinix, we saw a lot of overlapped Annihilators that are coming out of them. So this does open up a little bit of a window for the side of Fierce. We do have VTOL available for Forsaken. We have Cluster Strike available for Forsaken. We do have Raballo coming up on his VTOL, which is very likely what Forsaken is waiting for to call it out. And here it comes out now, and Infinix needs to get this out of the sky fast.
Yep, and he's already farming some kills right there. You can see him coming in. It does... Oh, no, it's still up in the sky. He takes out Yuji as well. You can hear the FHJs. They're able to get it down pretty quickly, but the damage is done. Fierce has been able to take the B cap. I believe Raballo calling in a cluster or a VTOL of his own. That's going to give them even more control, so they're able to shoot it down, but with one Goliath up in top of tin, that's going to be a tough task for Infinix. Renounce gets the frag onto Tempo. He does drop on the outside of tin, but Shadow just going to create an absolute mess of a problem for Infinix, as we do have Tatio trying to push up with a Goliath of his own, but definitely really susceptible to any type of a push, and it's now going to be a battle of the Goliaths. Shadow wins it, shooting the body right there, and we can see him staying alive in the top of tin. Only 36 HP. He is going to be taken out, but Fierce now surpassing Infinix. They're going to need some type of a crazy retake to be able to make this comeback happen.
Yeah, Infinix needs to pull out a double cap here, and they can still win this. But we're getting right into the realm of right about now. We are in need of a triple cap for the side of Infinix. So this is looking like it's going to be a Fierce win coming on through. 4 points away, make that 3, and Fierce, I guess Infinix able to turn things around in round 2 will cost some points on the side of Fierce, but Fierce win the 2 out of 3 against, you know, Infinix, arguably one of the better open season teams in the league. So big plays from Fierce here today.
Yeah, Raballo and Forsaken, no surprise to see the two of them way at the top for Fierce, both able to call in their VTOLs, and that being the main thing that did allow them to finally get the retake onto B. It seemed like Infinix was not going to allow them to get close to touching it, but once those VTOLs came in, they were able to get that retake pretty quickly, and once that was done, all they had to do was defend, which they did to perfection. They are going to be able to get the win, and that will move them even more solidly into first place in Division 1. That will push them up to 70 points, Infinix being in second with 40. So they'll still be battling it out with Violence and Xset for that number 2 and 3 spot. But it looks like that is going to be it for our final matchup of the night.
Yeah, and it was an exciting set of matchups tonight, especially, being able to round things off of Infinex versus Fierce was absolutely huge. Again, this Fierce roster just coming through, showing how strong this team is together. Forsaken popped off all day long through all 3 of the games we've seen them play. Obviously, we have more ahead of us as well in our Thursday matchups, so make sure you guys don't miss that. As always, it'll be right here on Bobby's channel, but I think that's all for me, Bobby.
Yep, it was definitely a great set of matches, especially that final one. 2 great teams battling it out. As always, appreciate Day helping out and casting. That's going to be it for Tuesday's Mobile Mayhem. Hope you guys did enjoy. Make sure to subscribe and follow. We will be back here on Thursday, same place, same time, but that's going to be it for the stream. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to show some love to whoever we end up raid. And that's going to be it. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next time.